Well, good Monday to ya. Today's Monday's story happened about 2010. My little girl was just real little, just born, and prior to her being born, the wife and I were kind of nesting. You know, that's kind of a term used for young parents trying to get the house around for the little one. And so I'd been doing Craigslist, selling lots of stuff on Craigslist. And I was kind of getting into it. It was kind of fun. I was hoeing out some stuff that I didn't use anymore and making a little money for the kiddo and whatnot. So it kind of became a little bit of a running joke. I was like celebrating with my wife how I was able to sell a couple things, and I thought I was, making some good money on some of the stuff I was getting rid of. And I stumbled across this little lathe for spinning doll furniture that my grandma had given me years ago. It was brand new in the box, really old. I wanted to just donate it to the school or for my students to use, but it was such poor quality, I knew it wouldn't hold up. So I'm like, I'm just gonna unload this thing. So the price tag was still on the box for $39.95, and it was probably 30 years old or more. So it was an old price tag. So I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sell this on Craigslist for 1 penny more than it was even paid for. So on Craigslist, I put it on there for $40, and so I'd make a penny from what my grandma originally paid for it, probably, not including tax or whatever. But anyway, so my child was born. She was like 2 weeks old. I pretty much forgot that this was even posted on Craigslist. And out of the blue, I get this call saying, hey, I'm interested, or email, interested in this little lathe, and I'd like to buy it from you. So I was like, I called the guy, and I was like, yeah, I will, I'll sell it to you. We're getting ready to go to Target in a couple minutes. We need to pick up some things. And he could hear my little girl crying in the background. She was pretty noisy at 2 weeks old, and of course, we had zero sleep, and she just wasn't much into sleep at that time. And so I told the guy we'd meet him at Target. So sure enough, no big deal. We're just headed to meet up at Target. If you're ever selling stuff on Craigslist, not a bad idea to not meet at your house, because you never know who you're going to meet. But I've had pretty good experiences overall. So anyway, we meet at Target. We're driving a older model Blazer. I'm sure we looked a little rough because, like I said, we weren't getting much sleep. But I meet the guy. My wife and my daughter are in the car, and he comes up to the car, to the back of it, the Blazer. We open up the hatchback, and there's a lathe, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it." So he gives me two 20s, $40 for this lathe, and then he grabs the lathe and he's on his way. And so, I jumped back in the car, and I snickered to my wife. I'm like, I did it. I made a penny more than this thing originally cost. And I don't know, maybe it's antique. Maybe the guy sold it for $300. I don't know, whatever. I doubt it. But anyway, I thought that was funny, and my wife and I were laughing. And so anyway, she goes into the Target, and I get this. I'm hanging out in the car with my daughter. And she's pretty little, hard to even take into the store at that point. And I get this call, and it's the guy who bought the lathe. I'm thinking, oh yeah, he just changed his mind that he doesn't want to pay $40 for it. I was expecting to give him some money back, or take the lathe back, or whatever he wanted to do. And he's like, hey, I got thinking, and he's like, I left you something at the Target desk, the service desk at Target. It's like, I wanted to do something for you. I left you something at Target at the service desk. And I'm like, what? I was just like, didn't understand. He's like, I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, just sometime pay for it if you can. And so my wife was in Target. And I'm like, dear, this guy says he left us something at the service desk at Target. Can you grab it? And I'm like, I don't know what to expect. And so she comes back to the car, and she's like, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, probably not. What is it? And she's like, this guy left us a $50 gift card at Target. And, it said, like, get something for the kid. And I was just kind of, like, blown away a little bit. Here, this complete stranger just gave us $50 for our little kid. And, we put it to use. Of course we could use $50 having a new kid around. I mean, we weren't necessarily, really hurting for money at the time, but we weren't, just burning money, throwing it. We could put it to good use, buy diapers or all the stuff. I mean, little kids, need tons of stuff. But I was just so taken back that a complete stranger would give us $50 for our little kid. We had family members that didn't give us anything for our kid, which I wasn't expecting. When we have a kid, you don't have to give everybody everything. Really humbling for me. Originally I just felt really bad. Like, I thought, here I was kind of ripping them off. I felt like that lathe, I don't know what it was really worth. Probably wasn't worth $40. And so I was really, I felt kind of bad. Like, I just took this guy's $40, and then here he came and gave me another $50, and I didn't feel very deserving of that, especially at the time. But it was just such a powerful message. Just paying it forward, and that's really stuck with me. That's one unique thing about mankind and humans, is that we can do good for complete strangers. We can make somebody's day and really do something good for somebody that we don't even know, and it can really impact them. So, it's like at the gas station, maybe you swipe your credit card for somebody else and let them fill up their car. I mean, there's just tons of pay it forward, really neat things you can do for people. And this was just an example, and it made a huge impact on me. So, next time you see a complete stranger that maybe you can help out in some way, I'd say it's worth it. I mean, go for it, because, even though you might not see, their reaction completely, they're gonna react and pay it forward, I think, and just have a general good feeling about humanity. I mean, I left that just thinking like, man, we always hear about all this bad in the world and all the bad things people do to each other. And sometimes we miss out on these things that people do for each other that are really good, that just kind of fly under the radar. So, just something to think about. And that is your Monday story. Have a great day.